Hi, Manny.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, 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 good. And have Corey joining in. Hello, Corey.
Yeah, Corey's microphone seems to be muted. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yep, you
Okay,
know.
cool. Um,
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to be meeting with both of you. Where are you guys located at?
Corey's in Naples, Florida, and Manny's up in Virginia.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Okay, cool. Well,
What
I'm
we
really
wanted to do was to have you take us through a demo. We tried to do it ourselves with limited success. We're looking to, with our SEO for our websites, I've got 8 real estate websites. And so what I'm trying to see is if the SEM Rush program has the feature to be able to identify a real estate community. We'll take example, Pelican Bay in Naples, Florida, real estate, and to find out what the uh, most used keywords are for that consumer search, and then whether or not it also can show the order of those words to get the maximum SEO potential.
okay. Okay, absolutely. And then for the sake of demo purposes today, is there one domain that you want to prioritize utilizing?
Yeah, we could use Naples Pelican Bay Properties, IES.com.
Okay, perfect. And then tell me about the types of properties. Like, are we just focused on residential, commercial?
Well,
Tell me.
no, it's all residential,
Okay,
and you'll see on my website, on the home page there, just below the top of the fold, we have those 4 boxes, and it talks about high-rise condominiums, condos, Pelican Bay homes, and Pelican Bay villas. So if we did as an example, let's use Naples, Pelican Bay high rises for sale.
got it. Okay. And then in terms of like the actual website domain, how have these websites been up for a while or
Yes, they have a lot of age and authority. As a matter of fact, if you Google searched where you are, Naples, Pelican Bay real estate, we should come up in the #1 position. Why don't you
okay.
do that for us, just to show us what you see where you are? Naples, Pelican Bay real estate.
Yep. Okay. So I do see you guys up #1, and then of course we have Zillow right behind you guys. So fantastic. So let me share my screen. Mm, okay, I will share my screen. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we want to identify what search terms people are putting in their search bar to find properties in Pelican Bay. Um, any other specific concerns you guys have had? Have you guys noticed any differences in traffic that you're receiving or conversions?
Well, it's just a matter of, as we're now looking at the SEO for our landing pages, we obviously are trying to get them to rank higher, and we've been studying the URLs with the competitors that are above us and what keywords in the order that they're using versus ours. And so obviously we could run tests, trying to mimic their keywords used in their URL for that particular landing page, but thought it would first reach out to SEM and see does the program have the, I know there's obviously keyword search ability with SEM, but does it have the feature that if you put in Naples, Pelican Bay real estate, is it would show us the keywords that it recommends to use, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so if you would do that for us, and we're recording this so that, we have this on file to go back to remember how to access it.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I do that, I do want to dive into something you just mentioned. I heard you say that there were certain URLs that your competitors were ranking higher for. Uh,
Right.
what specific, like, is there a specific group over here, like condominiums they're
Yeah,
doing
let
better?
me give you an example, and we could go into condos, and if you were to type in uh, Pelican Bay Avalon, Avalon, condo for sale, which would be a typical keyword phrase that someone would use, you'll see word number 4, Shannon. Shannon LaFerve is our main competitor as an individual agent having a website like myself. We realize that at times it can be difficult to outrank Realtor.com and Zillow. And then also Realty in Naples is a local real estate community broker. And so when you look at, if I well, I can't do that because you're controlling. But if you hover over our URL for Avalon versus Shannon's, you can see that. Let's see. If you go ahead and hover over ours, and let's see what you're. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just condos, then Avalon for us.
Okay. And what is and for Shannon, if you hover over hers, what is hers is
Yeah, condos, low rise, Avalon.
yeah.
Okay. So
So
yeah,
what we're trying to do is to see, okay, if we using SEM, if it has the capability to see what the prime keywords are for researching condos in Avalon or Pelican Bay, and then does it also recommend the order, the highest use order of those keywords in order to capture, the number one phrase that people are typing in to search it. Does that all make sense?
yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So one of the approaches that we can take here is keyword overview. So we'll start here, so that way we can just run a general queries for condos, and then we'll do Pelican Bay. Let's see. In this tool, I'm in keyword overview right here. I like to utilize this tool, especially when we want to get location specific.
Yes.
Keyword Magic tool is a tool we'll get into, but it doesn't allow you to get down to the local level. So we'll start here.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And then what we'll be able to see here is a couple high level metrics about like the saturation of the market. And then we'll be able to see keyword variations. So this is where we're going to be able to see like what are all the ways that people are putting this phrase in their search bar to ultimately find you and find
Right.
competitors.
Okay, so we've got, we could see now if we isolate it to Avalon, so it could be Pelican Bay Avalon condos for sale.
Mm-hmm. And then we can
So
see.
basically the,
Yeah, if we can pause it for a moment. So, Corey, what I'm seeing, and Ari, that's how you pronounce your name, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so what we focused on is Avalon Pelican Bay condo for sale. And what we're showing here, Corey, if you can see there what she pulled up, it's actually saying condos for sale, Avalon, Pelican Bay. And my question to you, Ari, is keyword order. Is that a ranking factor?
So keyword order, so it's a two-part thing. So one, you want to have variation. So I would never tell anyone just only use this variation of it, but this is something I would run with and say, okay, let's prioritize utilizing this in our H1 header since it has the stronger ranking. Um,
Right.
when you thinking about SEO, like what keywords you put in your H1, H2, H3, they have different priorities in terms of ranking on the search engines. So I would say, okay, this is what we're going to run with. We're going to make this our H1 header, make sure we utilize this also in our meta description, and then also too in the alt text for our images. And then you can throw in some of these other variations, like in the following, like paragraph text, to make sure that
Good.
you're still driving traffic for those as well.
All right, let me, Manny, are we using that in our images also?
Correct. Now,
Okay.
so it doesn't seem that the order, it's showing, the first one is showing the volume is 20 and then everything else is hollow, but they're all using the same keywords. This would indicate to me that order matters because people are
Yes.
searching condos for sale, Avalon, Pelican Bay. But see, we didn't specify that way. So I wonder, would we get a different result if we switch the ordering around? Um,
So one thing that I want to do here, so this is giving us a list of keywords, but one strategy I want to share with you guys to kind of get a more, paint a better picture of what keywords you guys should be utilizing is
Great.
one, we want to outperform these searches right here. So you mentioned Shannon, kind of your number one competitor. We can see
Right.
her is ranking right here. What I would recommend doing is starting in this section right here and see who's ranking. Then you want to scroll over to this section right here. You can see URL keywords. I like this approach because instead of us looking at all the keywords our competitor is utilizing on their entire domain, we can actually see what keywords they're utilizing just to rank in that number one, number two spot. So that is where I would recommend us prioritize. So if we click in right here,
Okay. Makes sense.
this is going to show us all the keywords that Shannon is currently utilizing on her page to rank in that number two spot here. So this is where I would recommend, and then we can prioritize this. It's already filtered by search volume.
So those keywords may be utilized in, well, let's see if we go back in our H1, we saw, the highest rank words. Um, but you're saying that with this analysis that we would find those words in her text.
Yep, absolutely. So we can actually pull it right here. So we can see right here, she's utilizing Avalon at Pelican Bay, and then right here, Avalon condo
Right,
sale.
right.
And then if we took a look at some of like her paragraph text, you can see like her links that she has, just kind of taking a look, like she's utilizing a lot of different variations on her website here.
Yes, yep. And we have a similar, layout, presented differently than Shannon, but certainly providing, if you click on my Avalon page, right there, you click on that, it goes to the landing page. And so then I have, text about the community, and then of course the listings.
Yeah. And so one thing that we can do here, so one I want to mention, this is actually where I would start at. I would go to keyword overview, see who's ranking in that number one and number two spot, and
Okay.
take advantage of the URL keywords. Now, one thing that you can also do here is I recommend utilizing a tool we have called SEO content template. So what this is going to do is this is going to give you a framework to optimize your page. So we're going to do Avalon, Pelican. Well, we'll do Avalon condo for sale. And then we'll choose Florida. Naples. And did we want to do Avalon condos or Avalon Pelican Bay? We can.
I would think that typical consumer would put in Avalon
Okay.
condos for sale. Yep.
All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click create content template. What this is going to do is, oh, it's not letting me pull it here. So, okay, actually, okay, it did pull up. All right. So this gives you, we're only working on this one, so it's only going to give you so many uses a month. So that's why that popped up here. But what you can see right here is this is taking a look at our core keyword that we put in here. And then this is going to give us some key recommendations on how to optimize our content to rank in these specific areas. So I'm going to scroll down here. So if we come down here, this is going to give you a bit of a framework in terms of how long your content should be, how many characters you want to have in your meta description, just to kind of double check and make sure that you guys are just kind of hitting those key areas there. So utilize the keyword overview tab, focus on the URLs to identify the keywords, but you can utilize this section right here to make sure that you guys are adding additional keywords. And this is based on the top 10 results that are showing up for that keyword phrase that we put in. This is saying these are some additional text that your competitors are utilizing in their content to help them rank in those positions. And you guys have a strong branding. We just need to optimize what you already have. So you guys
Yeah.
aren't
Yeah.
far off the grid. Yeah. So this
Yeah,
is
but this is why aren't we seeing anything about Avalon there? Or did you not put that in the search?
I put it in. Let me put. Let's see. Oh, okay. It's taking an account too. It looks like there was an original search ran here.
Yeah, so let's see what it looks like when we isolate it to
Well,
Avalon.
yeah, and those are just basic, which is fine. I'm not. That's why I think Avalon is not showing up because this is just like a guideline or general recommendation, and not a
Yeah.
target specific.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show you that just to get an idea of how long, like you want to make sure your titles, your meta description, things like that are. Now, if we want to analyze your existing page, down here under content marketing, there's a tool called SEO Writing Assistant. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to delete this one because it looks like this was made a long time ago. So we'll get rid of that. And then what we're going to do right here is click import from our website. So I'm going to grab your URL right here. We'll click import. This is going to grab all of the content that we have on our page. It's also going to identify the keywords that it's pulling up for this page. Now, this is an opportunity where we can add in a keyword here where we can say like condos in Avalon or condos for sale Avalon. If you don't see that the system has automatically picked this up, and this is also a good indicator of what search engines are also going to rank you for. So you can notice some of the keywords that we identified earlier aren't showing up in here. So we could add like condos. And then down here, we can also get region specific. So put Naples. It's just regular Naples, right?
Yes, yep.
Want to make sure. And then I'm always going to choose to optimize. Do you think your audience spends more times on looking up on their desktop or mobile?
I would say, a laptop or desktop because to try and view it all on a phone is very difficult.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, we do have more traffic on phone, but Corey's right. Most, I think real or uh, qualified people would be using a desktop.
That makes sense. Got it. Okay. So your ideal customer, they're actually going to be on their, desktop, maybe iPad, something like that.
Yeah,
Ver-
it's an older generation age group wise because of the price point that I try and target, which is a higher end property.
Okay.
Um, and so, even, when I've gone on to my Pelican Bay website trying to use my phone, I mean, it's obviously it requires a lot of steps to dial in to see something where with the laptop or a desktop, everything's easily the all the tabs are easily accessible.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So what we can see here, so I imported all of our content that's on
Yeah.
that page. And then right here we have a scale. So this is grading the content that's on this page. We're at a 6, which isn't bad. I really would like for us to try to aim to get like 7.5 is generally the baseline that I recommend. Now you can see down here, there's some key recommendations that it's going to make. So these are very clear actions you guys can take to improve this landing page here. So you want to utilize this in conjunction with your keyword research. So take a look at Shannon's landing page, see what keywords she's targeting, make your list from there. Then when you come over here, you can see some of the recommendations. So you can
Yeah, yeah. The title's too long,
Mhm.
and yeah,
And then you can also see compared to competitors, their content averages about 917 words. Yours is running a little bit short. So there's some area of opportunity there.
right.
And then again, condos for sale Avalon isn't something that we're currently targeting in our headers. So that's something we would want to make sure that we implemented. And then these are some additional keywords that your competitors are utilizing, like in their subheaders that we might want to consider adding to our page as well.
Freeze right there?
Mhm.
So when you mention condos for sale Avalon as target keywords we should using, but if you look in my H1, it says condo real estate for sale Avalon at Pelican Bay.
Yeah, so one, you would want to condense this down a bit, but you would want to, so when you're doing the keyword research and you look at Shanna's page, look and see what the number one keyword is and how it's phrased. If it's phrased as condos for sale at Avalon, that's the way that you would want to utilize it in your,
Got it. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And then,
believe we matched. Sorry to, uh, I believe we matched it, which is Avalon at Pelican Bay, or so that's what I'm saying is this is just a guideline that Ari's going over, which is fine, and
Yeah.
but our keywords, we may when we do this ourselves, and we'll put in the same keyword that Shannon's using, which is what we're using, and so we'll get a different result. And but this is just very helpful. We appreciate it, Ari, going over what these tools are capable of.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And so one thing I want to back up and do, so this will be saved in here so you guys can come in and review some of the recommendations as well. But I do want to back up to the keywords that we saw with Shannon because I want to save those in a list for you guys. So I'm going to back up. We're going to go back to her URL for specifically for Avalon. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new list. I'm just going to call this one Avalon, if that's okay with you guys. And then we'll select that. And then most of these keywords, I think were good.
Yeah, and I think one key takeaway, Corey, that we can use going forward is the fact that the variation of keywords, because we've been pretty militant with a certain phrase and just using that throughout, which is fine, but just putting in the keywords in various orders
Right.
throughout the content, I
Right.
think that's something that we could greatly benefit from.
Yeah, as she pointed out on one of the other pages, the different keyword orders and the way they're used organically in her text. So yeah, we could mix that up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so I have saved all of these keywords here so you can see all of the different variations. Don't necessarily have to use all of them. Maybe go with like the top 10 with the highest volume. The keyword difficulty score on all of these, so that's just referring to how saturated is the keyword. They're all great. There's nothing concerning. Now, if you guys are running another competitor search, and you're looking at their list, we want to stay away from keywords that are in like the orange and dark reds. So my recommendation would be to stick with keywords in the 0 to 49% in terms of keyword difficulty. That's going to keep you in the very easy to possible to rank for. Like, again, we're not necessarily, we don't want to be competing with all of the keyword, every single keyword out there. We want to make sure that we're strategically choosing keywords that we can actually start to rank. And ultimately, we want to crush our competitors. So we want to focus on sticking in that range and then also to sticking in the keyword intent. Are you guys familiar with keyword intent?
Keyword intent?
No, I'm not.
Yes.
Don't know that definition, no.
Okay, so one column that you guys will see right here is keyword intent. So
Yep.
there's four different types of intent, and this is just telling us what is the intention behind the person putting this in their search bar. So an I intent is going to be informational. So if you see a keyword that has just an I next to it, those are going to be great keywords for blog content. Those people are just doing research. Like maybe they're trying to figure out what community they should be looking at.
Right.
Navigational is going to be brand specific. So again, we kind of expect to see this a little bit with Avalon since it's a specific community. But these are
Yes.
people that are like, I want a Stanley Cup as opposed to just a general cup. Commercial is going to be a mixture of informational and transactional, which
I don't do any commercial, so it's all, residential.
well, so this commercial in this instant isn't referring to the homes. It's referring
Okay.
to the keyword. So commercial in this purpose is saying that these people are doing research, but we know they'll typically make some form of a conversion in about 30 days. So this is going to be a strong keyword type for you because these are people that are looking, doing their research, but they'll, more than likely reach out, fill out a contact form, and be a potentially a great lead for you. And then transactional, these are your people that are like, I'm retiring. I will need to find somewhere to move.
How does SEM know that the user is in that one of those categories? How do
Yeah,
they identify that?
great question. So this is based on behavior data. So when you go to a website and ask if you want to accept these cookies and if you're okay.
Yes. Yeah.
When you accept the cookies, that then allows the website to track your behavior and what you're doing on
Sure.
the website. So this is all based on like Google's data. SEMrush, of course, has their own algorithm, and it can tell that typically, if somebody's putting in this in their search bar, this is the end behavior.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's a really great area to do. And then also too, one last tool I want to share with you guys is keyword gap analysis. So I want to share this with you in terms of just website to website, domain to domain, not necessarily looking at a specific URL.
Okay.
But say we're looking at our website and we just want to make sure that we're holding that number one spot and seeing are there any areas of opportunity for us in our keyword profile. So we'll grab Shannon's. And then any other competitors that you guys want to pull in here?
Yeah, if you right there, not GCI Naples is possible, but there's
It's the Realty of Naples would
yeah,
be
and then John R.
Ben
Woods.
Shannon and John R. Wood. Those three are, of course, Zillow and Realtor.com, but they're
That's
not
here.
local specific.
Okay. So we've got Realty of Naples. And then anyone else?
John R. Wood.
John R. Wood. Mm,
Yeah.
okay. So what we're going to do here is run a keyword gap analysis. So what this tool is going to do is it's going to take a look at our keyword profile and it's going to compare us to these three competitors we have in here. And it's going to identify, are there any gaps in our keyword strategy that we can start to leverage and just kind of take into account from an overall domain perspective? So if you look right here, you can see there's 38,000 keywords here, but I'm going to show you guys how to narrow this down pretty drastically. So one, again, we want to start with our keyword difficulty score. You can see we have some oranges, some dark reds here. So we want to go after the very easy to possible to rank for range. And then from here, we also too want to match this with our intent. So we want leads coming in. So I'm going to say let's do a commercial and transactional intent. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pivot away from this tab to this missing tab right here. Missing is going to show us keywords where all three of our competitors are at least ranking in the top 100, and we're currently not showing up. We're not on the radar for these
Can
specific.
you limit that to, say, the top 10?
Yeah, we absolutely can limit it to the top 10. So let's do top 10 right here.
Okay.
So now we've got 159 keywords here that all of these competitors are ranking in the top 10 that we are not showing up for. Now you can get a little bit more specific here. So let's say we just wanted to focus on, Pelican Bay, or if we just want to focus on keywords that had Avalon in them.
Yeah, so let's look at Avalon just as an example.
Okay.
So that's where you would put Avalon in.
Yeah. So nothing here that all of them are currently targeting that we're missing out on. So that's a good sign for us. So
Okay.
all the three keywords that they're all ranking for were also showing up. Now we do have this top 10 filter going on here. So if we change it to top 20, yeah, we're still good. So we're on the radar for that.
Yeah.
Any other phrase that you guys want to do?
Now
Like,
you go ahead with, um, let's see, do Old Naples, OLDE Naples.
Yeah, and the way we did it was actually just Old Naples, OLD,
Yeah,
because
well,
we
that's
did.
right. So, well, let's do this first, being that
Sure.
we have Ari here. Ari, the historical spelling of the town, OLDE Naples,
okay.
but most non-local people would not know that. They would just hear the name Old Naples. Are you able to tell which phrase gets used more, the OLDE or OLD?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we can see right here, so these are 7 keywords that our competitors are ranking for that we're not in the top 10. So we can see this one, search volume here. Now, if we change this and click apply, so we can see the search volume on this one's a bit lower.
Yeah.
So looks
Yeah.
like utilizing the old. I'm assuming that you guys are probably attracting a lot of out-of-state people.
Yes.
That would make sense.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's half. Yeah, half the volume.
yeah, so we could actually save bulb. So we'll do old
So then if we looked at the search OLD,
and we'll put old again. And then we'll save these keywords as well, because you can see there's 7 here that our competitors are ranking in the top 10 for that we're currently not showing up for.
but and as far as volume though, I'm reading that the most common, the top one is Old Naples, Florida. They're not even putting
Yeah,
any reference to real estate.
Yeah.
and but
Okay,
the
so the top, excuse me, maybe one
yeah,
sec, the top phrase for anything that would appear to be real estate would be the for sale being added, homes for sale, Old Naples, the number 2 position, correct?
Yeah, so it's going to be a mixture and variation. So if you're ever curious to see like, okay, well, why is this ranking? Like, what are my competitors doing to rank there? Like, what does the content look like? If we click this open overview, and again, it's this little gray box. It's not super obvious, but it is a very helpful feature.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click right here, you can see, so of course, Naples Gov kind of expect to see that there. But this one right here with our competitor ranking, if we click this arrow, we can see what page it is. So it is a real estate page. So, okay.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah. And I just like to see this because sometimes if I see this, I'm curious. And every now and then, the strategy your competitor might have where maybe it's just a landing page talking about the community. Sometimes it's not always, a specific real estate page, like some other, actually I have quite a few real estate clients in Florida, but across the US, sometimes people just make content just talking about the community and why it's great. But your competitors they are actual, property viewing pages. You can see we've got some content up here talking about the history of it.
yeah, the vast
So how
majority of
would
the
they, Gary, how would they, okay, so I'm a consumer and I'm interested in looking at uh, Old Naples homes for sale, but the phrase that was typed in is just Old Naples, Florida with the zip code. Um,
yeah, and like my question is, sorry to interrupt, Corey. I think this is more pertinent. We're actually searching for Pelican Bay. Old Naples is a completely separate community. So the fact that Pelican Bay is not ranking well for Old Naples is, in my opinion, irrelevant.
But
So
no, I asked her to search Old Naples just as a,
Oh, that was after the fact, correct? Because
yeah,
Old Naples was appearing. So, but what I'm saying is, in this particular case, we're trying to get helpful keywords for Pelican Bay, and they didn't. These aren't helpful because these are Old Naples. We actually own, excuse me, Corey owns, um, Naples. What is it? Old Naples. Properties.
yeah,
He,
yeah.
he owns a
That's
separate
what,
domain for that.
So we can do,
Oh,
let's
even better.
say, click apply here. And
Oh, good. We're not missing anything.
yep,
Oh,
not
two.
missing. Well, there's two, but they're ranking so far down, I wouldn't worry about it.
And those are Daytona, so that's on the East Coast.
Hmm.
So we're on the West.
Yeah.
yeah, in Naples.
But it's still, I know what she's covering. She's just covering how the tool can be utilized. So it's
Yes.
not, we're not holding you to the fact that, you know, it,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
These ones down here, so we've got some Avalon keywords. Are there any other areas? I know we have different domains to appeal to different areas. Anything specifically for the Pelican Bay that you guys want to search, like condos or
well,
anything like
I
that?
think you wanted to cover the magic tool, the keyword magic tool, because I guess we understand, if it's all right with you, Corey, the concept behind the keyword gap. Pelican
Yes.
Bay was a bad example because we nailed that one
Right.
pretty well,
Yep.
but yeah, if we can cover some of the other tools with Ari's time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, the first few features were certainly going to be very useful, and so let's look at some of the others.
Oops, got me on too complex. So do we want to do Avalon homes for sale, Pelican Bay homes for sale,
Avalon condos for
Avalon
sale.
condos.
Pelican, and you could put Pelican Bay because it has to be specific. There's many Avalons.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm, mm. So, okay, so these are the same variations that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click all. So yeah, there's not a ton of different variations. Now, if we switch this around, so mm, mm, yeah, same query. So yeah, just these four keywords here.
Okay, so hold there. So Manny, with that, basically, I'm seeing that, okay, she's changed the order of the keywords around, but ultimately what we're seeing is that this number one ranked condos for sale Avalon Pelican Bay is the number one use of the order of the keywords.
Correct. Correct.
And we
Yeah,
would want to focus on that for our H1s and combinations H2, H3. And then would we also then, Ari, for our URL for Avalon, we would want to add those in the back end of the URL?
So not necessarily. So what I want us to do, so we identified the keywords that Shannon had on her website for Avalon. We've taken a look and just done a general search query. Now what
Right.
we want us to do is look at those list of keywords in total.
Okay.
So the keyword strategy builder, this is where your lists are going to live. So if we click in here and prioritize by search volume, we want to work off of this list here.
Okay.
So we can see Avalon condominium has the higher search query here. And then you can work through these different variations. And
Right. Right.
now you do want to go back, take inventory of your pages here. So let me go back and just make some alterations. So I see that you guys are kind of repeating the exact same phrase, which I know, Manny, you mentioned. You definitely want to use different variations to make sure you guys are capturing all the different ways that people are putting it in the search
Yeah,
bar.
that makes sense now that I see.
yeah, that's why I identified that as one of the key takeaways is the fact,
Yep.
because we've been, um, you know, template based rather than more organic, the
Organic.
variation wise.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's all you guys really need to do. Like, again, as long as you're adding some keywords to the alt text for your images, just go in and just take inventory of all these headers, work off of this list here, and just throw in some different variations. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, you guys are already great. You guys have great presence. Nothing alarming here. We just have some great like areas of opportunity on our website to just improve it. And then also to just kind of based on our competitor analysis, we want to add in a little bit more content because we're running a little bit short compared to our competitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ari, you think we need to demo as far as the feature, or you've covered it?
Yeah, no, I've covered it. There's not
Okay.
a lot. I took a look at the site health. There was nothing concerning there. The website, I almost never see a 100% score. So shout out to you guys because that never happens. So everything looks great there.
Manny's been able to achieve that on most of them.
Yeah, that never, I almost never see it. It is a unicorn experience for me to not have to talk about site health. So great job, Manny, there. And then, yeah, we just need to optimize these pages. The
Sounds
aesthetics,
good.
nothing concerning there. Let's just add in a little bit more content to our page and just optimize our headers.
Now, I don't know if you have the answer to this, Ari, but one of the things we also noticed, like if you go to my Avalon page, if you would, in condos, next one, Pelican Bay condos, yep,
Mm.
there's Avalon. Okay. So if you go to Shannon's Avalon page, can you put them up side by side? Yeah, there you go. All right. So what she's done is she has put the actual listings, uh, in the top fold with then her
Content
links
down
in
at the
the
bottom.
sidebar on the right, where if you look at ours, and if you scroll all the way down to Shannon's, then she has her text below the listings, where we have our text at the top of the fold and the listings below it. Do you think that that makes it like scroll down to hers and then you see all her text and her content is below the listings? Um, do you think that makes a difference in the with Google's ranking?
So not in terms of ranking, but I would say it can make a difference in terms of how much time people spend on your website. So looking at it on a mobile version, this looks fine. My only concern here is that if or looking at it desktop looks fine, but my only concern here is if I was on my phone, would this take up like a fairly decent amount of real estate on my phone when I'm
It
looking at
does. That's yeah,
it?
without a doubt.
So somebody, I think they would spend more time. So this, looking at the homes and properties is naturally just going to capture people first.
Right, right.
So I would maybe, definitely consider that. So that would be like my initial just, if I'm looking at this, I might say like, oh, I might think this is just a blog post if I'm on my phone and this is all I see first.
That's
Uh,
a good point, Manny, in that because obviously we've determined that you said more people are accessing the sites using mobile than desktop. I thought when you and I did a search, we determined more were using desktop. Was I wrong with that?
I can look up the analytics.
Well, either way, you and I can review that together. But I think Ari just hit on something that we didn't discuss together. But because Google is giving so much authoritative ranking to mobile devices and speed, to have the listings show up first, which, as Ari said, immediately captures their attention because that's what they're looking for, versus having to scroll down with their phone past all my text to then get to the listing photos. That might be the reason why we want to shift these.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ari, the time on page is a ranking factor. So if we can get them to stay longer, that should also play in our favor.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And see, one thing we did that our competitors don't do is, Ari, is I have a YouTube channel. And so
Oh, nice.
I've got 678 videos. So if you scroll down my page on Avalon, you'll see to the right-hand sidebar, you can
Yeah.
literally then go to a video page, and that's how we kind of capture the consumer to spend a lot of time on our site because they're viewing the videos.
That I absolutely love that. And let's
See
see
that the
some of your content down here as
yeah.
well. Yeah, so I would definitely properties, content, and then you can break that up with some of your text. But I mean, video content again, that's going to pull people in. Oh, what's this? They're going to click on it,
Yeah.
go watch the video. So yeah, definitely agree with that there.
Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we did this. This is very informative and very helpful.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And then we do have an opportunity to meet again. Do you guys want to just kind of check in, see if you guys have any more questions in a week or two?
Sure. Manny and I are going to conference anyway on this, so we can take that time to do that. Maybe even, begin to utilize what you've taught us, and then, we'll obviously could probably come up with some other questions.
Okay. So, okay, perfect. And then, Manny, is a week good for you, or do you guys want to do 2 weeks?
No, a week is good. And while we have you, do you guys also offer or like have consultants that could help out with SEM Rush? People that we can reach out to directly. And just while we're on it, switching back in time, the mobile, we're getting 1,000 more clicks through mobile than desktop. So yes, mobile is being used more on the Pelican Bay website than desktop. Um,
Okay.
just throwing that out there, even though we're showing up more on desktop. So anyway, just throwing that information out.
Yeah. And so you're saying anyone that you can talk to about SEMrush or actually implementing changes?
Both really. Just do you guys do like consultants or anything like that? Just to help out Corey, because I'm the main guy helping him out, which is fine. But I have no problem collaborating with others to help ensure that we can bump him up as high as possible.
Yeah, so I would be your point of contact for us to have like training sessions on either
Sure.
the tools or implementing different strategies.
Does SEM actually have a staff where they would actually do these changes?
So we don't have internal staff. However, if you go up here to the resources tab, we have hire a trusted agency. So you could actually put in exactly what you're looking for. You could give like your budget, how much you want to spend. Do you want somebody that's local to your area? And it'll actually refer you to specific agencies that align with your needs. But it is separate from like your SEMrush subscription. It would be a whole
Got
independent
it, got it.
conversation.
And how do they show up on your site? Do you qualify them, or this is just like a, classified page?
Yeah, absolutely. So they do. So it's not a classified page. They do have to meet certain criteria to be an agency partner. So
Ah,
anybody
okay,
sign
okay.
up.
So they're a partner with SEM that you recommend.
Right, exactly. And then if you fill out the project brief, this is where you can put what you're looking for, your budget, location that you would prefer.
Yeah,
And yeah, you could just send that and then you'll get some people to reach out to you and you can discuss and see if it fits.
okay. That sounds great. All
Yeah.
right, well, I appreciate it. I'm good. Manny, you have anything else?
No, not at this time. It's very helpful, Ari. We really appreciate your time.
Yep.
No, thank you guys. And then does same time next week work for y'all?
Well, let's do just throw us a time, and then we may wind up changing it.
Okay.
Let Manny and I get into this a little bit, and then we obviously will respond back to your meeting with if we're going to change it or not.
Okay. That sounds good. All right. Reach out if you guys need anything before then.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
then
Thanks
can
so
we get a
much.
copy of I video recorded it, but can I get a copy of your video recording as well?
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
in case. You never know.
All
Mine
right.
may fail. So I want to make sure, you know, back
Send
it
it to
up.
both of us, Ari, if you would.
I will. I will.
Okay. All right. Good job. Thank you. It's
Uh,
certainly, I have to ask you, how long did it take you to learn this entire program?
it took SEMrush has changed so much. So I've been building websites for a long time. So it wasn't as big of a learning curve. But SEO just continuously
It
changes.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, just staying up to date with it. But I love having these conversations, so I really enjoy this part of my work.
Well, thank you
Wonderful.
so
Appreciate
much,
it.
and you have a great day.
All right, you
Annie,
too.
I'll give you a call.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.